And it's time to find your partner and come on over to the Couples Couch, your relationship podcast. Rick Merillat here from Positive Progress Counseling Associates in Cape Coral, Florida. And I just love doing work with couples. It's so rewarding and challenging at the same time. And we're going to discuss a very big issue that all of us need to know in our communication. Reacting versus responding. Well, reacting and responding are very two distinct ways of approaching a given situation. And the way that you handle it can have a dramatic impact on the outcome of that interaction, correct? Now, in couples therapy, I look at things as in a cycle between you and your partner. And if both of you are very big reactors, guess what? That cycle keeps going on, and you don't feel validated or heard. Let's go over just a few of the differences and kind of go into detail about them. Let's start with reacting. Often it's very quick, it's impulsive, and reacting involves an immediate and instinctive response without much thought or consideration. And our intention is to rapidly fire back at our partner, trying to get them to understand our point of view. Now, oftentimes, heightened emotions play a part in this, and reacting tends to be associated with intense emotional reactions such as anger, frustration, defensiveness, and below all of that, fear. Fear that we're going to be judged. Think about that for a second. All of us have been programmed with the underlying fear that we are not good enough. So whenever we hear a criticism, guess what? Our defenses go up. And we have no self-control when reacting. We struggle to regulate our emotions. We yell, our voice raises, so much negative energy that goes into this. And if you happen to be a reactive individual, you're in good company. All of us are at one point or another. We focus on blaming others or external circumstances for our current circumstance, right? We have a hard time saying that we are responsible, or maybe I should have approached it this way. Now, why would we not be able to do that? Let's circle back to the fear that we are not good enough. And, of course, escalation of the conflict. Reacting can amplify conflicts and disagreements, and it wipes out any potential for coming to a resolution. Now, responding, on the other hand, is a little bit more thoughtful, and you take your time to respond. Your approach is more, you think about what you're going to say. I often tell couples, take at least 5 seconds before you respond. Take a pause. Think about, what did I just hear, and what does it mean, and how do I respond? I know it's a lot for 5 seconds, but it does break this cycle. Also, under this category, you're very calm, your composure, you're relaxed, you're in control. There is no threat. And why would that be? Maybe the person that responds has a better relationship with themselves internally, so things are not viewed as a threat. There's also a lot of empathy and understanding. I find this to be very typical in couples, that there is a lack of empathy because we're too busy trying to figure out what we're going to say to fire back. We don't have that time. And also, there's accountability and self-reflection. We take responsibility, and there's no shame to it. There is no shame. We're all human. We're all learning on this path. And we all make mistakes. A mistake does not mean that something is wrong with you and therefore you're not lovable or worthwhile. Do you see how all of this kind of ties together? And finally, conflict resolution is, well, it's possible because now you're able to see the other person's point of view. And maybe, just maybe, we can find common ground. That's amazing if we're able to do that. I always say, try to find a grain of truth in everything that you hear from someone. Try to find that grain and reflect it back to them and watch their resistance melt immediately. And our meme for today, if you focus on the hurt, you'll continue to suffer. And if you focus on the lesson, you'll continue to grow. I'm Rick Merillat. Thank you for listening. Now go give your partner a great big